Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony James. I'm here with Terrell Washington. So what up, Terrell?
What's up? How y'all doing today?
Man, like I said, this episode 2, man. We made it another week.
Yes, another week.
You know, and I think that that's kind of a good segue. We think about making it another week, man. It's where we both from, where we both been at, you know. But you know, we were kind of talking about journeys on the last episode. We're talking about your JUCO journey and things like that. So, take me to getting to Illinois, and I also want you to, and part of that, you know, there's other parts of that. So, you know, not only are you there, but you know, during that time frame, you become a family man.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about family already, but become a family man. So let's go through that beginning journey of getting to Illinois.
Oh man, I'm be honest. My daughter Tasia was about to be born in 2000, I want to say, and this is the wild part, right? So the doctor, right? My doctor. I'm not gonna throw out a name, but my doctor, he was a U of I graduate alum. So. At the time of me about to have my daughter, it was like, okay, camp was coming up.
Mm-hmm. And now this is your first year there?
This is my first year there, 1999. No, this is my second year there. Second year going into JUCO. I mean, going into Illinois.
I'm gonna take it back. Let's go back to the first year at Illinois. Let's start there before we get to
Okay.
So tell me about the first year at Illinois.
First year of Illinois, man. 99. I think the team before that was like 1-11, 1-10. So it was bad.
They were bad. It was bad.
But you know, with recruiting, good recruiting, things like that, you know. But you know, they never knew I always wanted to go there. So Coach Mack was a recruiting coach of mine that recruited me and wanted me to come down and check out the University of Illinois. And I was like, man, whenever I get opportunity, as a kid, that's who I always wanted to play for anyway. So when Coach Mack recruited me, you know, I had other schools that I can go to, but I was like, man, I'm going to University of Illinois, 2 hours away from home.
What? Now we're gonna stop that. What was the final schools that we could choose from before we choosing Illinois, and why Illinois?
Oh, okay. Well, one of the schools was Miami.
Nah, just stop right there, because that is Miami in the 90s. We going to Miami.
So one of the schools was Miami, University of Illinois, and I want to say Houston. It was the Houston team, Cougars.
Okay.
And you know, when you go to JUCO, everybody kind of lose you when you go JUCO. So it was like, you know, I had another group of schools that was recruiting me, and I had contacts at Miami. But I knew if I would have went to Miami, man, I'd be a totally different person. Mm-hmm. So I decided to go closer to home, so my mom and dad and my family could come down to support me, and I could be closer to home. And during that process, you know, me and my wife been together since like 8th grade. So it was like, it was wild, bro. Like, so it was like, okay, I knew she wanted to come down and watch, but you know, I'm like, well, shoot, if I get an opportunity to get on the field and things like that, things kind of go the way I needed to go, then, you know, potentially down the road that, you know, she can probably move up. But then during that time, you know, when she moved up, I had a 4 bedroom apartment down there, and she moved up. We talking about this a year later, after I did my first year of college ball, and, you know, became a family man, you know. So the goal was to, you know, get married and do all of that other stuff first. But, you know, some things just happen, and we end up having our daughter, and she's 24 now. And I mean, shoot, it was a great experience for me and my wife, you know, because we got married while I was in college. So, you know, you don't really see a lot of guys getting married, playing college ball, going to school every day. I became a man real quick, you know, just being able to have to take care of my family, and my wife having a job down in Champaign at the bank, and, you know, kind of just went from there, man. And
so before we get to the football aspect of that, we're gonna dive more into that. So,
okay,
why'd you get married?
Oh man, she was the love of my life, man. Like shoot, as a kid, man, you look at the stability. I had a stable household. So my mom and dad been married, I want to say like 56 years or 57 years now. So it's like when you see that stability, man, that's what you want as a kid. You don't want to, I didn't want to have a headache every weekend and, trying to deal with different girls and things like that. So I just said, I'm going to just focus on her, put all my all in her and, and try to just build what we got. And, we had a little girl, we got Tasia, and I want to make sure that she got a good role model to see every single day. And, I didn't believe in having a split household, so yeah, man, I made it work, man. I was hard as heck traveling and doing all the stuff I did, but, I made it work.
So I got to ask the question because, obviously being a girl dad now, and I'm a girl dad as well. So you get married, but when you found out you were going to not only be a dad, but you're gonna be the dad with a daughter.
Oh wow!
How did that change your perspective as not only as a player, but as to what the goal is?
Motivation. I was motivated to be great. It was like nothing else was going to stop this from happening. Right? You see your daughter. You look your daughter in the eye. You look at your wife every day. You see them when you get up in the morning at 4:00, 4:30 to go work out. And you like, man, you know what? We talking about before pro. We talking about college.
That's all we're talking about college right now.
We talking about college right now. So I'll wake up in the morning, get ready to go do my winter conditioning, and it's like, hey, this is why I'm grinding. This is why I'm busting my tail every day because I want them to have a better life. I want them to be appreciative of everything that I do. And that was my why. When I was in college, it's like, hey, I see this. I want to make sure they're happy and they're comfortable and they can live a life that that other people only wish to dream, and that's why I bust my tail, man.
All right, so your dad in college. Mm-hmm. We're gonna skip over average year that y'all had the year before your year one. Y'all were okay.
We were 8-4, man. Bowl game.
But we gonna go to the. We want to talk about winning.
We played in a Micron PC Bowl, bro. Come on now.
What is that?
Hey, we was in Miami though.
And you needed to get out of Miami now. So no, we can talk. We can talk about 8-4. But we're digging into the personal stuff.
Okay.
We can glance over 8-4. 8-4. Y'all had a decent year.
Yeah.
Were you starting?
I was back up.
8-4. So you're getting playing time. You're getting yourself. I want to talk about the transition because now you're looking at. You see what you guys can be.
Correct.
8-4. That's why I want to kind of gloss over 8-4. You see where you can be. You see where you're going. Your dad, your husband. Well, not even a husband yet, but a husband.
Getting ready to be a husband. Yeah. May
college football player. How do you balance that first? And when did you realize that, hey, this team could be great? Because this team, I'm going to go ahead and give a little foresight before we even go there. This team ends up 11-1? Or 11?
My senior year, yeah.
11-1 the last year. Sugar Bowl, playing LSU, Big Ten championship.
Correct.
So now we can go back to say, when did you realize?
So 2020, so it was 2020. That was that season.
2000.
Huh?
2000.
Oh, I'm tripping.
That's all right, man. You ain't that young either.
2000. Dang it. It's been 20 years, 24 years. So 2000, right? When I first got there in 99, we had, like I said, 8-4 year. 2000 was really hit us because I want to say we were playing against Ohio State, right? And they came into Champaign and they won by a field goal. Mm-hmm. So that really sparked us, okay, we played Michigan. Rocky Harvey fell on his head, or they said he wasn't down. The ball fumbled. Mm-hmm. So
we'll find the highlights, y'all.
Find the highlights. Yeah, find the highlights for that one. So that we lost to Michigan at home. We lost to Ohio State at home. I think that year we went 6-4. And once that all occurred, we was like, no, you know what? We can win it all. We gotta go bust our tails. So winter conditioning. That's what I said. At that time, I'm about to be a father, and I'm about to be a husband in May. I already got my baby girl. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I'm not gonna let nothing stop. I'm not gonna let it. But the team as a unit, we were not gonna let nothing stop us from achieving greatness. And that was the year we just kind of decided as a team that we're going to go all out. We went all out as a team. We did everything together. We went out together. That was the first time I seen true chemistry where it was not made up by coaches. Mm-hmm. It was made up by the players deciding to, hey, we gonna put ourselves to the side and we're going to come together as a unit and we're going to do this right.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. You probably won't even expect this, but let me ask you this. How did that affect your relationship, though? Because, again, you're getting ready to be a new husband. Mm-hmm. But, of course, something has to take the back seat. You know, obviously you're there in school to get an education still, to win ball games. We know this. Mm-hmm. You're not playing college football to get education. You're playing the college football to win ball games for that coach in the beginning. We're going to call it is what it is.
Yeah.
How did that affect that relationship that you have with your wife, your current wife? Y'all been married
23 years.
23 years now. But how did that relationship either grow from that, or did it just tell me about that relationship?
So it did both, right? It helped us grow just due to the fact that she understood, like, coming into football. Like, I tell any female or any person that deals with an athlete, right? You can't take that time away from them trying to be great, right? Or that's going to put a strain on the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about sports and football. So at the time, I'm going through football. And the cool thing about it is that when you marry your best friend, man, it's like she understands, like, okay, I may have to come in second right now because I know his love right now is this sport, and I got to be supportive and I got to be there for him. Mm-hmm. And she understood that. She understood her role. I don't want to say it in no mean way, but it's like she was really supportive and allowing me to become who I am, but at the same time giving me the opportunity to be able to still be a father when I needed to be a father, but also be an athlete or be a athlete at the time that I needed to be an athlete, and be a team player and a leader on my team when I needed to be a leader on my team. And she helped me with that balance.
Okay. And so, and that's the thing. That's the key word right there. I think is balance. And I think for every athlete, every kid that you train and things like that, is learning balance, learning how to be a good student, learning how to be a good son or daughter, just learning how to have balance. So, how do you teach that balance in what you do on a day-to-day basis from what you learn from having to learn balance from with having a spouse and college career and daughter during that time?
I would say not to take any attention away from either, right? So in order to balance it all, how I balance everything is, okay, when it's time for business, I do business. When it's time for being a mentor, I be a mentor. When it's time to be a father, I'm being a father. Because there's always gaps in life, right? So we look at, a 24-hour window, get up in the morning with your daughter, walk her to the school, walk her to the bus, or just sit on the truck and watch her walk to the bus stop because she may not want to hold your hand right now as she get older. Mm-hmm. She ain't want to hold your hand. She just want to see.
Change in a year, don't it?
Yeah. She just want to see. She just want to make sure her daddy is over there watching her go to her bus, right. Making sure he's sitting there. That's the balance that I'm talking about. Or when you get home at nighttime, when you're done doing your job or whatever it is, you go spend that quality time instead of being on the cell phone. You go spend that quality time with your lady or your spouse or whatever like that. So when I'm looking at the big picture, it's like, okay, business time, family time, mom and dad time, because I still spend time with my mom and dad. I still go over their house, lay across their bed. We talk about life and things that, that's important to us. And, just being able to have that balance, you have to, in order to be great, you got to have that balance, because if you don't, it's not going to work.
All right. Well, and we talked about, being married early, having Tasia, having the daughter. So how many kids we got?
I got 3 kids. Well, I got 4 kids. Put it like that. I got 4 kids. I got 2 girls, 2 boys. I lost my son back in back in 2016, and it's been. I have my moments. I have my moments where I try to kind of block it, because you got to focus on other stuff too as well. So I got 2 girls, 2 boys, and I got a son up in heaven looking down upon me.
Okay. And for those who don't know, and I feel like that's a big part of your why. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we kind of need. I think parents need to hear this, because it's one of those things of, we don't know what people have gone through. We don't know how people have dealt with losing someone close to them or losing a child, because I think that we always prepare to lose a parent. I know that your parents are in their 80s and things like that. Where it's one of those things where you know that I got to spend as much time as possible and things like that. Those are things we prepare for.
Correct.
But losing a child is something that we all can't prepare for. So let's kind of, and I think we're going to mix in our journey kind of with this as well.
Okay.
Where we kind of met and kind of got this off the ground. Where I met you in 2015.
Correct.
And kind of, I guess we kind of talk about that. So let's talk about us meeting, tying into this, and kind of going to that. So we meet in 2015
at a manager meeting.
For a grocery store.
So life takes its turns. I promise. Hey, life will take a turn on you. So back in 2015, I think we were going towards. It was in Houston, close to Houston. We had a meeting in Houston. And I see this cat walk up in there, we just talking. So we just sat down on the table, we all just having conversation. And, me and this guy started talking about our kids. And, our kids are the most important portion of our life.
It took 2 weeks to get to the...
It took 2 weeks. It didn't happen that same day. It didn't happen the same day because, we gotta feel each other out. You know how we work.
Yeah.
But after we felt each other out, I figured this cat was pretty solid. He was all about his family. I don't think he was talking about was his kids. I'm sitting here talking about my son and my daughter and... it was cool to see that, and found out you were from Michigan. It was like, okay, I'm from St. Louis. You from Michigan? We all from the Midwest. So, so we just got to talking, man, and talking about families. And he told me, hold on. One thing this cat told me, he was like, hey, I got a son. He's 10 years old and he's like 5'9". I'm like, what? I say, hey, you got to let me get my hands on him. I'm gonna make him a star, and it went from there.
And not even just that. 'Cause I think when we talked about our wives, I think they both were pregnant at the time.
Yeah,
and that was I think that was the part that made it easier for me when we were talking about our kids and things like that. Is that we got kids at the same age, and we got one that's pregnant at the time. Hey, just let's hang out and things like that. They're both boys and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think we talked about they can play ball together. They can do some things, and we got close in that time frame.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, and I'm going to say your son's name. So let's talk about when Cam was born.
Okay.
And let's kind of go from there. So tell everybody about that experience.
Okay. First, I got his name was Camden Reese, Washington. Cam was born a preemie. He had hypertension, so basically it's just a narrowing in your lungs where it's tough to get oxygen to your body, your brain, everywhere throughout. So we had to put him into a facility that kind of specialized in pulmonary hypertension. That's what it's called. And once we start to do our research and doctors tell you, okay, hey, there's nothing else we can do, we then had an opportunity to move him to a different place, and then we ended up moving him to, I won't say medical city of Plano. We were first down at Dallas Children's, I think Dallas Children, and they weren't even trying to do anything at the beginning, so it was like, okay, let's go ahead and move them on out. Then we end up going to Plano, and then from Plano to Columbus, Ohio, where we were living in the Ronald McDonald House. So that was a change, man. And, luckily I was working for a job that kind of put me in a position where I could still work out there in Columbus, which, the company that we worked for was really, was a basic blessing to me at that moment. So, when I was out there and working with the job, but also they let me leave early to go visit my son every day and hang out with him. And that was something special for me to kind of just, be able to spend that quality time with my son. And, from there, they were doing everything they could. And, it was a roller coaster. I mean, roller coaster emotions, roller coaster of just, not understanding and not knowing or where you're going to go, or when it's going to happen, or if it's going to happen, or, just living that life, that everyday pressure, weight all over your shoulders. It was definitely something that I would never, put on anyone else, man. I wouldn't, that experience was the worst of my, it was the worst part of my life, man. I'll be honest with you. So just going through that and, going on the journey and I think one day, I think the NFL had like an NFL deal back in Dallas. So I flew back for the trip to come hang out with some of my NFL buddies, and it was a convention. We were all going to hang out and do things. And
unknown caller.
During that process, you know, it was crazy because I flew in that day. My son passed that day, so I was back on an airplane flying back to Columbus that next morning to get there to be there when they pulled the plug on my son. So that part of my life, man, was
known caller.
Was crazy, bro. Like I said, I wouldn't wish that upon no one. You know, that experience, that journey, or anything. You know, but I understand that, you know, some people have to go through things like that in their life to, you know, just because they're chosen. You know, God has chosen them to go through it, and you know, He wouldn't choose. You know, if I couldn't handle it, He would never put me through that journey. You know, I'm a believer. So when you're dealing with me, it's like, you know, how I dealt with that overall, how I was able to go every day living like that, or just understanding that I went through that. It was just the grace of Him taking the weight off of my shoulders, man. And I'm thankful for that situation, that He took it off my shoulder as I was going through those hard times in life.
How long was Cam here with us?
Cam was here 539 days, man. Okay. I counted every single day. I made a video of it every day. I try to just give people insight on what I was going through in my life, and you know, our good days when he was smiling and, you know, moving around, and on the worst days when he didn't really have a good day, and I posted it then. You know, it was something that, you know, in me, God was like, hey man, you need to record this. You need to let people know that life ain't always easy. You know, they think that, you know, they see your videos on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, and they think that you live in a life, but they don't understand that journey that it took to get back there to that happy place, man. So, you know, going through that journey, man, it was the roughest part of my life, man. Me and my family.
What is that number, that 539? What does that number mean to you and your family?
539 days that my son lived with us, and we are thankful that we had that opportunity to spend with him. So if you look at my email address, if you look at, you know, my business names, that 539 is something that I honor because of the impact, but also the love and the joy that we had together while he was here.
Yeah. And so we talk about our journey a little bit, kind of mix into that is, you know, my son was born 3 months, 3 months after your son was born. Yep. And my kids are some evil kids. But that one, man. Let me tell you, like, this, your son, I'm going to say his name, Xander, man. Like, it's so wild how God works, because we wasn't able to bring our son home, but every time, like, this kid, like, he knew how I felt that day, and he'd come up to me and just give me a hug. Like, nobody knew what I was going through at that moment, or mental status where I was at. And every time I seen him, he'd come up and just give me a hug and just grab my leg. Like, well, that meant so much to me, man, that I can't explain to you how grateful I am to have you as a friend, bro. Like that was something special for me, and I needed that, because as I watched him grow, I picture my son being right next to him, doing the things that he's doing, man. So I appreciate that. And he still gets the same hugs at 9.
Yes. I still get those same hugs from him. So he knows. I know my baby boy looking down from heaven, and he's projecting, you know, how he feels through your son, man. And I'll take it all day long, bro.
And so with this, we're going to get to just a half step to the beginning of Grindhouse, because at this point in time, you're going through what you're going through. Mm-hmm. Work is, yeah. Work is work.
Work is
work.
I tell a lot of people, I say, life was lifing at the time.
At that time. And at this point in time, I told you, hey, I'm leaving,
Yeah.
You need to leave too.
Yeah.
and,
No.
and you need to be putting your focus into this business.
Yeah.
Because at the time, our older sons are starting their training journey together
in high school.
And their own. And it wasn't even high school. We were still in middle school.
Okay.
Okay. So, and they're working out together. They're becoming best friends. What they are right now, which is that's another story for another day. How your wife and my wife, our two older boys, me and you, and it's all separate relationships.
Correct.
But I know I can call them, and I've had to call your son just to, hey, can you give a call to your boy, let him know. I'm thinking about him a little bit because my son is weird. Anyway,
he's
a little weirdo. But so let's talk about just briefly.
Okay.
How 539, how Cam made you grind harder to start Grindhouse.
Okay, well, that 539. Just think about it like this: you got 539 days. You don't know how many days you got to spend with someone, right? But I had an opportunity to spend 539 days with my son. And when I was going through that journey, now take this, right? That's the hardest part of my freaking life, right? That's you losing something that you made, like this something that's come from me, and it's like to see that you would never get the opportunity to see him again. Many days I sat in a media room and I was like in a dark room, in a dark space, and I wanted to give up. But over time, I was like, 539 means something. And it just, one day, it just popped in my head, like, dude, you went through the worst part of your life, man. Like, go ahead and do this for your son. And from there, I wasn't going to take a no, man. I don't care how many no's I get. I wasn't going to take a no at all. And I was going to
Terrell Washington, FaceTime video.
Work my tail off to make everything fall in place. And that was the goal for me and my family, because that 539 don't just mean this is 539 days. It means 539 days of love and joy that I had an opportunity to spend with my son. And I'll be darned and let him down. I won't let him down at all. So everything I do in my life is dedicated to my baby boy.
Okay. I think we're going to end it right there. We're going to get to the start of Grindhouse at the next episode. So people got something to really look forward to. But before we finish, we're gonna do one more rep.
All right.
All right. Being a girl dad. Being a girl dad. How important is it for parents to know that their girls need this training just as much as their boys do? What does your program do for our female athletes?
Oh, female, man, it's like this. They're going to get a great mentor first off, right? You're going to get somebody that's going to guide them in the right direction, work them out, going to train them. But the cool thing about all of the things that we're talking about, you're going to get this opportunity to be the best athlete that you can be at that time, right? So it's like you got this period of time where you from 17, 16, all the way up to about 22, 23, where you could be the best athlete you can be, right? Mm-hmm. The goal for me is to make sure that you reach those goals quicker. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be days you're going to want to quit. But in life, right? So we talk about what I just dealt with my family, with my son. Like, it's not going to be that hard. So that little dedication, that little time that you spend working and grinding and pushing yourself to a limit, it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to make you better. And then when you go into the working world, it's going to help you. It's going to help you become that dominant force that most, corporate American jobs are looking for. And if you want to run a business, it's going to show you the grit and the grind that it takes to run a business. And, the overall, I will say girls, they're my hardest workers, and I'm just being honest. They work their tail off. And to see that, I got girls in college playing college basketball. I got girls playing volleyball in college. Bro, they bust their tail. So for the ones that's looking at Grindhouse and got a question, like, I don't know if I should. Yes, you should.
It's not just a football program.
It's not just football. It's about teaching them things that's going to help them become the best them. And that's the overall goal for me as a mentor, because I want every kid to get the opportunity that I had. And we're talking about an inner city kid that third grade was running to his bus stop because he saw somebody get shot. Like, hey, I got to get it changed. I got to change my life some way, somehow. No disrespect to my parents or anything. It was just, we grew up in the hood. Most of us do. So my goal for young women is, hey, if I've made it through, you can make it through. And I know for sure every time I see my young ladies and they come back and spend some time with Coach Washington, they're all appreciative of the hard work that they put in, and they know that they're gonna continue to have success. All they got to do is work hard. So
that's real, man. So. All right, let all the girl parents and all the parents in general let them know they can meet you.
Hey, Grindhouse ST. You go on Instagram, you go on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook at Grindhouse Sports Training. Coach Washington, Coach T, whatever you want to call me. Hey, I'm there. I'm there for you. I'm there for your kids. And the crazy part about Grindhouse is all about family.
All right, y'all. Y'all just remember, no grind, no shine. We'll holler at y'all later.